Already number 275, still it never gets old to crown a new YCS champion. So who is it going to be here in Lille for this weekend? Who is coming out on top from over or just under 2,000 players actually? So Noël gets to go first.
Yeah, really important dice roll. The most important of the entire weekend as we have a combo deck mirror match. And that's a good start. Dark Beckoning Beast. Now, how far do we go here?
All the way.
I think we're going to see a pretty big field from Noël. The bigger question is, though, is this field prepared for all of those breaking cards that Julius is running even in his main deck? There is Thrust that can search the Dark Ruler no more. There is Droplet. There is Evenly Matched. What else could there even be?
Yeah, so Julius is just going to relax here, watching this cutscene before it makes it over to his turn. Because as you mentioned, there are so many deadly cards when combined with one another are going to do an incredible job of taking apart this field. And you can see that we use the double Spirit in the hand here to go into
one was an original Yubel. And the other one was a Spirit, yeah. But there is Nightmare Throne as well. Oh man, Noël is a man of two-card combos, and here he goes again.
No, this absolutely should be the entire field that we have seen him perform before. It's most likely going to be Phantom, Varadras, Wave King Caesar, Desiree, Soul of Rage, and Chamber.
Yes, and one thing that might be favorable here for Julius, though, is he just beat all of that, right? We just saw him in the feature match in top 4. He's used to playing through Yubel fields like no one else on the tournament. His deck does that for breakfast, basically, even though it's pretty late in the evening. And Noël, on the other hand, this might realistically be the first Plants deck he's facing in this entire weekend, right?
He has an advantage, though. He is European, so he has read a lot of the Rika cards already. We have seen some slight missteps in the round before against the Rika strategy. Let's see if Noël is familiar with all of those techniques that Julius can throw at him, because there was also in the semifinals of Yasin some pretty strong moves after having basically the entire field removed, having this negated Caesar, still going for Shavara, summoning back the Rage. That was pretty strong. Let's see how resilient Noël's field really is to the breakers of Julius.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see Noël. I think you can tell is really deep into that Yubel gameplay. He's really locked in, he's in the zone, he's really focusing on every single move. And what a story it is, right? It's his first YCS top, and it goes all the way here into the finals in his home country. I mean, how could it be any better? We could see him being a first-time YCS champion instead of Julius being a two-timer, of course.
Yeah, no, I think it's really clear to see the preparation that went into this event for Noël, because watching a bunch of the Yubel feature matches throughout the course of this weekend, which you can catch up upon on the YouTube or Twitch channel, Noël has been performing these combos and sequencing in such a way that has been almost to perfection. It's been great to see him pilot this deck in such an expert way, really proving to everyone that he is the best Yubel player on the day.
Absolutely, and one thing you also got to mention is not only the combo that he did was so good against Zeki in top 8 versus the Runic White Forest deck, he also used the unconventional effects of the Fiendsmith cards so well. Like, he used them to send cards to the graveyard. He has been recycling them non-stop, and like, usually you just use them to build a big field and your opponent doesn't even have a chance to play through it. But they're also pretty good then in the later turns where they can just diminish the field of the opponent.
So we're going to continue with this combo here. We are not already there. This is going to take a little more. Let's see if we're also going to get a draw from the Necro-Quip Princess to find our way into maybe another hand trap, because this is the beauty of the Yubel deck. You get all of these interactions from just 2 cards in hand. The other 3 might as well be Effect Veilers, Ash Blossoms, Nibiru the Primal Beings, or Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbits.
And last but not least, do you remember which card pretty much won him his third game in top 8? It's a card that he has, not like a lot of others in the tournament, included into his main deck, and I'm talking Droll and Lockbird.
Oh yeah.
So that is a card of all times against the Rika strategy, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And it's a card that I think a lot of people have been playing over the course of this weekend, because it's really, really strong against Yubel. There's a whole bunch of searching involved with your Yubel combo. Even the throne that sometimes people can skip a step ahead. So yeah, definitely a card that's been staple throughout this weekend. Droll and Lockbird really putting in a lot of work. and working really well in tandem with other archetypes as well, not just Yubel. We can see it being useful in the Runic Forest match, for example, that we witnessed.
Oh yeah.
Super popular card this weekend.
It was basically Ash for Runic Fountain draw for 3, right?
Yeah, and also denying anything else that would happen after.
Yeah.
So nice little add-on there. So there is Shavara that was drawing the Spirit of Yubel. Did we already resolve the draw effect of Necroco Princess? Because there still is that, of course, opening on the field, which then would discard a card and make that card able to draw a card itself. But we're not there yet, I believe.
Yeah, we're getting there as we have 2 level 10s on the field here, using the Yama as part of this combo here. And that's going to be able to put the setup for Varadras, and using the optional effect of Yama to destroy the Soul of Rage, which is going to recycle back the Fiendsmith Engraver, which is a really important part of this combo, because then you use the Engraver hand effect, and that's going to further your plays. And yeah, like I said, this should be Varadras, Wave King, and Desiree.
Everything you could ever dream of, and that in game 1 of a YCS final. Noël is living the life here at this tournament, and he might be a Jubilee YCS champion. One of many precious names, to be honest. Like, those Jubilee YCSs usually had pretty big people taking it down. You talked about Samir Bakar earlier on. He definitely did one of these. Nico Schlierkamp too.
Yeah, and that Jubilee was Germany against France.
Yes, it was. Last time France coming out on top. Can Julius strike back for it?
Nico Schlierkamp was Germany versus Germany, so we also have our foot in those.
All right, we get it. German duelists are good. We know.
I kind of forgot that you're not one of us.
Yeah, thanks for being here with us, Nadir. Honorable UK guy. oh, did you see that draw there? I don't know, that could actually just provide us with an extra monster on the field because we drew into Valeri. The question is, do we really need it? I mean, it's a good discard though for the Nutcracker, isn't it?
You can just use it off of the track anyway.
Okay, yeah, true, fair.
So it's not that big of a deal, but yeah, not really the one you want to go for, so that's an issue. I mean, we could have just held off on the Necroquip draw. Instead of using it in response to the Engraver, we could have just used it from the tract, right? So that would have meant that we wouldn't have drawn that. So kind of lost out on a free card there. Maybe the nerves are getting to Noel.
Yep, could possibly be the case. But let's see. I mean, still, it would be that full field that we have been hyping up here the entire time. Still, he would get to all the monsters that he wants on the field. It could just be that little bit extra. He could just draw that extra Ash Blossom or Effect Veil, or even draw in Lockbird, and that, of course, can be so impactful when Julius is just breaking those fields, right? Evenly onto the entire field, but still an Ash Blossom in hand might just be the nail in the coffin then.
Yeah, I think the really good thing about Yubel is that when you do get to pull off such a massive combo like this, Yassine almost showed it in the top 4 match, but yeah, you do have some tricks involving your Chamber, the Soul of Rage and Yama bringing monsters back, and of course when you do have this Desiree as well, you can respond to things like Dark Ruler with the Trap card and then chain the Desiree. We've seen that happen a couple of times throughout this weekend, so yeah, Noel is going to be locked in to sequence all of his plays in such a way that he can prevent Julius from picking apart this incredible field that we've just about finished here. So I think we just need Engraver, and that should be us.
Have we used Muckraker yet?
Yeah.
There it is. Muckraker effect, discarding the Engraver.
Yeah.
And back we got the Shavara.
I was just 3 seconds too early. Here's the overlay, and there it is.
The last piece of the puzzle. All of the combo monsters have been summoned. Perfect field acquired by Noël. Shuffling the deck before ending the turn. It doesn't get any better than that. And now it will be on Julius. It is his turn. It is his stage now, basically, to break another field.
Yeah, so this is 7 layers of disruption here. We have 2 negates from the Wave King Caesar for summons. We have the Desiree being negating a face-up card, that's 3. We have the Varadras, that's 4. We have the Phantom of Yubel, that's 5. We have the Soul of Rage brought back from the Trap card. That's going to be into a linking off monster into Little Knights. That's 2 there, 7 altogether. And there's a normal summon Loci.
Yeah, we're not starting off with one of those big field breakers. I was going to say, you know what would be funny right now? A Mystic Mine, but this is
That would be funny.
Start that I haven't seen coming. I thought he was definitely going to open with one of his big interruptions, but we actually let this slide. Rise is going to get the Sunseed sowing. And how far is he going to let Julius play until he decides to put an interruption in there? Not too far. The Caesar is going to activate. Let's see if this is followed up by something like a triple tactic talents from Julius.
Right, yeah, no, that's exactly what I was worried about. Now that a monster effect has been activated, this makes a lot of different cards live here. We can use Thrust, we can use Talents, but evenly matched might not potentially be a threat here, since we can't even go to the battle phase and crash our monster because of the Phantom.
Rika Glamour, though, not even... I think we would have paid cost by now, so he's just using it to search one card from his deck. So, honestly, that doesn't even seem that impressive. I think for Julius, it's just one of those hands that doesn't have that much non-engine in it.
Potentially, we might just have to be playing through Yubel with good old plant cards, just a bunch of extenders and starters, and hope that that's going to get us there.
There's Princess. Of course, Princess not only an extender, but then eventually, potentially, also a disruption for the opponents.
Yeah, if we can get to some Rika cards fairly early, then Princess is going to be able to help us to stop one of the disruptions from Null. But I mean, there's just so much here. 7 total is absolutely ludicrous. I mean, 8 really, if you think about it, including the Varadras's destruction after the negate. So much to fight through here. Yubel truly is a powerhouse. I mean, it's a 2-card combo to do this. That's monstrous.
And the best thing about the deck is the 1-card combo isn't too far off of this field if you have a really good start. Or if you just have the mediocre start. Was the whole point of what I was saying. Princess is now being activated, and of course Noel has to think about every single action that is being taken because he just has so many layers of interruption. There's so much stuff that he can do every single time. He just needs to be attentive towards the card that Julius could have. And we're just activating Caesar again, and I like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a scary part here because when your opponent plays so many field-breaking cards like the Thrust and the Talents that can capitalize on these monster effects activating, you can potentially just activate all of your negates and just throw them out as soon as your opponent, activates a card. But I mean, you do need to kind of think about the sequencing. You can't just fire off everything because it is 6 cards versus...
Okay, there is the Ragnaraka Bloom that we are activating here, which is not necessarily the card you want to start with. It's usually better to just start with the Evil Seed, but we're going to have the one-off Ragnaraka Bloom here instead.
Yeah, I mean, this is the reason why plants generally tend to play a big card count in the main deck here. There's a lot of undesirable draws. There's Bloom, there's the Sunvine, Sowing, generally not good to draw. There's the Twin. In fact, if you draw the Twin, you have to learn separate combos.
Wow, we're using the Varudras on that.
We can, in response to this, also use the Destruction effect and hit the Dryas, which... do we search out Sowing? Do you need Loci to search Sowing? Yeah, we normal summon Loci, so we can also use it to destroy the Dryas, and the Sowing hasn't been used yet. No, we did use the Sowing.
Okay,
yeah. It has just been negated, and now...
we negated the Sowing, of course.
Once more. Is that the next episode of Top 4? Because in Top 4 already, Julius had that where his opponent tried to destroy one of his Link monsters with a Ghost Ogre, and this time they tried to destroy it with Varudras, but Sowing there to save it.
So is working over hours.
Also, I'm just wondering, the Bloom is also still on the field because Varudras is not destroying the card, right?
It tried to destroy the Dryas afterwards.
Yeah.
And now we're in a little bit of a
Give me
discussion.
a little read of Varadras. I want to double check that.
Varudras does in fact say you can detach one material from this card, negate the activation. If you do detach one material, yeah, it's 2 different things. It immediately goes over to the second part of the effect, so we're not destroying. So now the question is, it felt for a moment like he just immediately did it on the activation, right? That could be a little bit of a weird moment. Do we see just Julius activating the Bloom effect next? Oh.
I mean, there's just so much here, honestly. It's Soul of Rage that can be brought back here, link with the Dryas, and then destroy the Bloomon banish the Bloomon Resolution with SP Little Knight potentially here, and then you still have the negate of any face-up card with the Dryas, and a monster negate with the Phantom of Yubel. So still a lot left here.
And the other banish effect of SP Little Knight to...
Yeah, and the other effect, yeah, exactly.
So that's still 3 interruptions, so still a lot.
That's 9 total, actually. We've missed one.
Thinking of SP Little Knight is here to help. And it's also going to be... Oh, we could also banish the Princess, possibly? Yeah, looks like it. That's what we're going to do. The Bloom already has used its effect. There is no further damage that it could do, but there is the special summon of the Beetle now. That is, so we drew multiple parts of our Ragnar Raika package, and honestly that package is the smallest one of all of them, so drawing multiple pieces of that cannot be optimal, to be honest.
Yep, again, it's just a little bit of the undesirable draws involved with plants that you just kind of have to accept when you play such a deck that has a lot of an engine requirements.
Is this the first time that Julius
Talents.
loses in the finals? He activates Talents, but there is still Desiree that can use its effect to take out 2 effects of face-up cards on the field. Talents will be one of them. Oh, we're actually just banishing.
I mean, we can still chain the Desiree, to be fair, and that is indeed what we're going to do. And we're packing things up! Noël Amel going up 1-0 here in this final. Julius Schwarzkopf, is he about to, as you said, lose his first final now?
No field breaker, no party is the motto of the game right here, because he just had engine. And I mean, honestly, the Yubel field, maybe it's not a Rika field, okay, but this field can't be cracked by any deck with just engine, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, the Talents was maybe going to draw into something potentially, but as you said, you really need some big heavy hitters to deal with a full Yubel combo. You need a Dark Ruler, you need a Droplet, you need an Evil, you need one of these cards in tandem with some good engine pieces, starters and extenders.
Dark Ruler doesn't even help because you have the Chamber plus Desiree technology.
Exactly.
That is indeed true, but now is of course going to be on Julius. He can do what he can do best. Going first, combo off, summon a couple of plant monsters. Nowadays there's a couple of insect and reptile monsters among them as well. He drew that insect there, the Samurai Beetle, which is not optimal, but still he will be fine using it within the combo somewhere now if he gets to combo off. But on the other hand, of course, we talked about Noël's list a little bit in top 8 when we had an on feature. He kind of tagged out his list for the mirror match because we see Bestials in his deck, which are pretty bad against the plant deck, to be honest, because I'm struggling to even find dark monsters there, to be honest. And
it's maybe light extra deck monsters.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true, light. Yeah, probably.
There's a lot of lights in the extra deck. Yeah, you're right. Julius gets to go first here, and plants do have a lot of different tech. I mean, there's been a lot of plant support cards over the years, and old school cards have been sticking around for a while. Not playing the once per turn spell and trap. What's that called again?
Bamboo Shoot. No, wait, that's not the Bamboo Shoot.
He is playing Bamboo Shoot, but he's not running the Rose Whip.
Yes,
that's the other
they're
one.
all Naturia cards, funnily enough, though, right?
Of course. Naturia, it's an interesting pattern there, but you know that's for a different conversation. We have other interesting things here as well. We've got one of DDG, one of D-Barrier, most likely thrust targets.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking Naturia was the OG stun deck, right?
Yeah.
Like everything just tries to stun you.
Double Cherries is...
Barkion locks you out of trap cards.
Yeah.
Landoy's monster effects and Beast.
I like how Beast
cards.
wasn't the first one you mentioned. Like Landoy's came to your mind before Naturia Beast.
I was thinking of Naturia Beast first. I was saving the best for last. Okay.
Right, okay, sure.
They're definitely all the same. And I mean, we did not even only include the Naturia Bamboo Shoot, but also the Camellia, interestingly enough.
Yeah, do you know what that's about?
It probably will have to be a combination of the two cards, right? Because Naturia Bamboo Shoot obviously is going to be a level 5 monster, so you may have problems just normal summoning it out.
I think you have to specifically normal summon it in order to get the effect, right? Because I think
that was tribute summon. Oh,
yeah,
you're
so
right.
it has to be tribute summon in order to prevent your opponent from setting cards, I think.
I mean, probably then you summon out the Camellia, send the Bamboo Shoot to the graveyard, then retrieve it possibly with the Strenna. And I mean,
Strenna, that's a good idea.
Tribute summon the Naturia Bamboo Shoot over Strenna seems pretty good if you ask me.
We've almost identified some combos.
Maybe we're going to see that. Seems legit to me, at least.
Yeah, duelists are just about ready for this game number 2. We are ready to head back into this final. Julius is down a game here, but will be getting to go first versus Yubel. Let's jump back to the table and see how this game 2 will unfold.
Locking your opponent out of spell and trap cards seems kinda nice if you open up with something like an Unexpected Die, which is a card that Julius, quite frankly, had in his hand very often. We have seen some Dark Ruler, Droplet, evenly Unexpected Die hands. Can he pull it off? No way!
No!
It is the time that the plants have stopped growing! No monsters for Julius, set to pass! Noël's turn! It is, and maybe his finals to win it is now.
That is not what you want to do with plants unless we've done some really secret smoke screening here. I mean, that is not good. That's a Samsara! Juventus going second into a plant player who has bricked. I think Noel must be on cloud 9 here. What an incredible start this is for him.
I'm gonna be honest, Samsara Lotus kind of is a plan, and it is going to kick off a really big combo here from Noel. The only thing that is maybe keeping Julius here in the game is that sometimes the Yubel deck struggles to deal 8,000 damage to an open field. However, after sighting, Access Code Talker is most of the time a strategy that these Yubel players are trying to pull off, and that is 5,300 damage alone, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that. Also, of course, Varudras being somewhat healthy in terms of attack points, so that definitely helps to at least often enough get to those 8,000 points that are required to call himself a YCS champion. Okay, Noel, he gets that Squirmer, he activates the effect of Spirit in the graveyard. The Yubel train is up and running. Noel here, now the one comboing where we expected Julius to do so.
Oh my god, that's a nightmare thrown in the hand as well. This is incredible. Noel is just... Oh, I mean, the only thing that he can really lose to is himself potentially at this point. Does Julius have something special back down there? Do we have a spicy set card?
Yeah, are there any trap cards? Torrential Tribute, maybe?
Didn't cite that one in, unfortunately. Good thrust target, potentially, you know?
Yeah, I mean, different dimension round would have been one of those where would have been like, that would have been cool, but you probably would have just already activated that by now, so unlikely we're going to see it.
It's just really unfortunate. I mean, maybe just like a bluff of like a sowing with no other monster. I don't even know.
One technology that he kind of brought into the plan strategy was siding in Blink Out. That was a card that he was religiously siding in at German Nationals, and that we even saw in the featured match. It was really, really good, which is like kind of a cross-out designator substitute because it makes you dodge hand interactions like Valor and Imperm. But of course, when you don't have any cards, it might be problematic. But of course, you can use it defensively against opponent's card as well. So that could be one of the cards we're looking at here.
I mean, maybe there's a world where he has Nibiru in hand. Julius plays 1 in 60 as a cross-out target. I don't know. Not really going to be good here. We've already established Phantom, so...
maybe Blink Out and then the Nibiru after. I can see a couple of scenarios where this works.
Blink Out can't be used on Phantom of Yubel.
Oh, it's just a Link monster. Oh,
so I think
you're
we're
right.
maybe waiting for an Access Code Talker, and on Resolution.
True.
You are trying to blink it out and summon back a 0 attack point monster.
Oh my.
That's a good idea, yeah.
What do we have here? We
Nightmare.
didn't use a Cosmic Cyclone or Nightmare Pain, so I don't think there is one. Oh my,
This
we're
is
destroying
looking
Yubel.
grim for Julius, but if I have learned anything from watching those matches, from casting those tournaments, those YCSs, the German Nationals, never count out Julius Schwarzkopf.
That is true. Also, do we think that Book of Eclipse still is in the main deck of Julius? He's running 3 of those in the main deck, so is he after sighting still having those in going first against Yubel? Could be, I want to say.
But yeah, there is a lot of cards in the main deck that aren't good going first. So, I mean, we have an entourage of different things that we could bring in, like Triple Cross Out, the Blink Out, the Called by, the DDG. Maybe like, and then all of the cross out targets. So that could replace everything, and then you keep Talents in maybe. I don't know.
Definitely do. Okay, we do go for Requiem.
We're really grasping at straws here, trying to find something for Julius to try and live this turn. I mean, it's just so unfortunate that you have just played this one-card combo deck that beats anything, really. I mean, there's nothing that stops a single Lokai going second, that is. And yeah, it's just set to pass. It's really, really unfortunate. Didn't even have to try fighting through hand traps.
I think if that was a Book of Eclipse, you maybe just activated on the summon of the Samsara Lotus, just because you're already in a very bad position, so you kind of have to go for the high-rolling play and saying, hey, there is no follow-up.
Spirit of Yubel back to the field through the effect of Squirmer. And Julius, he looked like he was considering something, but we keep seeing Noel activating cards here.
Droplet Nibiru. Droplet Resolve Nibiru.
Maybe?
Very important. Blank space in between.
Really coming up with every possible combination here, you know, just to try and figure out how Julius can win this.
Yeah.
It's going to get so bad we're going to start talking about things like Battle Fader.
I mean, yeah.
I have been Battle Fader this weekend.
How did you get Battle Fader this week? Oh, of course you were.
2010 match versus Anthony Lopez.
There is the Anguish now, and when the Anguish came in from the side deck, there is just very, very, very big reason to believe that there also is Access Code Talker, as it is being summoned here. Is Julius going to do anything here? He has to. Oh wait, oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, a little quick there.
And we have committed to a Link summon there, so we do have to send these off for a Fiend here.
I'm not entirely sure whether that's how it is handled.
That is definitely how that's handled. Nothing being checked here, but... Oh wow, we have a Nibiru droll in hand.
Okay, Noël was also prepared, yeah.
Maybe Julius wasn't playing anyway, so who knows?
So we are linking off now as a Shavara, making sure that we are not locked into those Fiend monsters anymore as we summon out Rage.
Since when is he playing an Unchained deck?
That's more Unchained monsters on the field than Yubel right now, if you think about it.
Okay, Engraver now coming back, making sure... I don't think we want to link off the Rage, but now the question becomes, do we even get to 8,000 points of damage now?
No, you definitely have 8,000. You just trying to do it in such a efficient way that you don't accidentally play into something a little ridiculous.
Are we going to see Blink out here on resolution?
Here we go.
Is this actually going to happen?
Target.
We're blinking it out.
It is
Okay,
blink out.
that is some more time that Julius is buying himself there through this blink out.
Gotta pick up the card and read it, of course. I mean, how often do you see this?
Yeah, it's a pretty neat addition from Lille, I'm pretty sure. So recently introduced to the game, and in Rika it is actually possible to use it aggressively but also defensively, as we can see here.
But now the thing is, you can't really sound back a rather not optimal Yubel card here. You're giving your opponent back the Engraver in this situation, or do you summon anything back?
I think what's clear here is that Julius might actually get another turn. I think a lot of materials have been committed into summoning out this Access Code Talker, so I don't think we're going to find 8,000 anymore. So it's just how much damage control can Noel do.
No, Yudi side. Yeah, Julius could have given him a monster.
It summons from your graveyard.
Yeah.
So you don't give him anything. This
the idea is the idea is you bounce away your Dryas if they negate it, and then you can bring back Lokai.
I thought it was the material was just summoned back from the graveyard, but it has to be from your graveyard, and if there is nothing in your graveyard, you just remove the access code.
Yeah, I mean, but it's also optional. Yeah, like you don't have to special summon. That's the whole point of it. Yeah, so you just say, hey, access code talker back to the extra deck, and it's all good.
This is compulsory evacuation device,
basically.
In 2024. Just a little better and a little more suited towards Link monsters.
Baldrake, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
interesting. We want the damage.
That's a odd choice into plants. I mean, maybe you just put in as many hand traps as possible, as just humanly possible. You just shove everything you have in just to stop plants from going first. Even if it's a random light monster in the grave that maybe could be relevant.
And now we're going to target one of our own monsters in the graveyard, of course. And I mean, there's plenty of light and dark monsters, so that should work.
Maybe also, if you have another bestial in hand, you can use the Baldrake effect to tribute something else to get rid of the next.
Oh, but there is Nibiru!
No. But, I mean, there is Phantom of Yubel.
So that has to be... Is it maybe called by the grave that Julius is having there? That would be a massive combination.
Wow.
That could be the one saving him here.
Called by for Phantom? This is a plot twist.
I figured he would have activated on the Samsara de Lotus at the beginning of the turn, to be honest, but that could very well be true here.
Could be holding the patience.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
We're just
There's no targets?
Resolve?
Things are happening here at the YCS
The field is gone! What is going on?
Did we use all of our Phantom targets? No, there has to be some in deck.
There's just no way. We're looking through the graveyard. Furiously trying to figure out what's going on, using the effect of Nightmare Throne now, and all of a sudden Julius has more powerful monsters on the field than his opponent.
Which can be problematic in this matchup.
True, he actually summoned that in attack position, which is interesting to see, because that's immediate 3,000 points of damage there just through that Yubel, and Phantom of Yubel is a card that he's running free of, so we could probably see another one of those too.
Okay, we can still try and advance a little bit here. We have summoned out regular Yubel.
All right, yeah, 3,000 points of damage. We are going to have another turn for Julius. He's going to get that Destiny draw from the top of his deck, and he's back into this, still hanging in.
Is it going to be Lokai? Even if that is the case, there is Droll and Lockbird. There is Nibiru, the Primal Being, on the side of Noël. Can you beat that? And another set spell and trap card. Julius is going to have to find a big trick in his sleeve. Let's see if he has it.
Okay, destroying the Nibiru token in the end phase, so Yubel is going to stay on the field. Humid Winds activated in the end phase, and we have less life points now, so Julius wanted them to attack there into that Yubel. That's why he put it into that Nibiru, that's why he put it into attack position, giving his opponent incentivized to deal damage. And here we are.
Oh no, you can just always add. You just get, if you are lower at life points, you can gain 500 back.
Alright, yeah, even better. But yeah, no, true, the one thing always leads you to the other, you're completely right.
Honestly, it's unbelievable to have the patience to hold Nibiru for that long, to the point where you're just going to essentially wait till your opponent doesn't have the Yubel in the deck, and then you negate, then you drop the Nibiru. That's wow.
And I mean, that is now confirmed. There is no Yubel in the deck of Noël, and therefore he was not able to activate the effect of Phantom of Yubel, and therefore that was a crazy point of dropping that Nibiru, because you have to realize that, right? You have to realize there is just right now nothing they can do against it, and therefore perfectly timed. At not even 18 years, a veteran of the game already, isn't he?
Oh yeah, impressive. I think our players are just paused here for the moment. You can see there's a pause on the timer. Go back to us for a moment here and just discuss exactly what's going on. We have the trophy, actually. We can probably show you guys what that's going to look like. Here you go. Another verse Solaria as part of the first place victor for today. Who will it be? Will it be Julius or will it be Noël?
What a turn that was, though. Honestly, I was ready to pack it up. I was like, okay, that's going to be one of those quick finals, being a quick 2-0. Yeah, let Leo do his thing. He's going to
get a lot of
he's going to be fine, yeah, for sure. But like, I was ready to already announce the winner. Weren't you? Like, those two set cards, I was like, how much can it be?
Are you again announcing a different person as the winner? When Julius is winning in YCS,
Why
maybe?
you gotta do him bad like that? Oh, no. Yeah, so it's just a bit of a pause here between the players. I think we're getting an appeal of a head judge just to discuss exactly what happened. I think maybe it could have been an illegal activation of Phantom. I'm not sure. We're just trying to figure out exactly what happened. You will get some confirmation in a moment as our judges figure that out. But yeah, is he out for the count? Is there still life in this for Julius?
Just top deck a Lokai and we are all in this.
Yeah. I mean, he has access to more than one Aroma card at least, so I don't know how much that does for him in this current game state, because there is also Nibiru, there is Droll and Lockbird. How are the resources looking for Noël after this turn? Because there is one set card, he has the Nightmare Pain. I'm sure that Julius is going to find at least a way to remove the Yubel from the field. There is going to be Droll and Lockbird and Nibiru. How far can Noël play from this point on when he actually gets to stop Julius in his turn, if he actually gets to do that? And honestly, I'm very curious. We haven't seen the other cards in his hand. What can there be? Like Thrust? Talons?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think like most likely will be cards that need an activation requirement for your opponent using a monster, but if you can't play the game, you're not going to bait a hand trap out of your opponent's hand. So, see the Humid Winds, are you able to... So he's using the effect in the end phase to search, correct?
Yeah.
And then on his turn, can he search again in the draw phase to play around Droll?
Yes.
Okay, so we can get 2 searches off of this Humid Wind, so we just needed to survive 1 turn. And Julius is absolutely not out for the count. That's 2 Arrow Mage there. I mean, it's really not that great, I suppose, because you just search Rosalina. Well, I mean, all you need is 1 Rosalina. That gets you somewhere.
Absolutely,
It's something, so for sure, Julius is going to be able to play here. So, yeah, we can see our head judge is just moving on over to the table here to... finalize the appeal.
I think we're confirming. I think there is a slow play warning being given out, which is valid, and I think there is the debate on whether it's going to be upgraded. Just technicalities, but of course always making sure that the head judge is going to have his word when there is an appeal, and therefore that's what's happening right now. But probably we should be good to go again in just a moment.
We of course hope that there is as much Yu-Gi-Oh as possible here, that we are going to see a nice clean game 2 here, because I think actually you said, is there life in this for Julius? I think he has the momentum right now. It's his turn. There is not a lot. We can see the screen still. There's one face down card, which is a miracle surprise card. We don't know what it is. Maybe he searched some card and I forgot. But we don't know what it is.
Remaining,
yeah, Droll and Nibiru remaining. But there's only Yubel on the field. There is Nightmare Pain for follow-up. And if Yubel is removed, you need to top deck a Dark Monster, which is not the hardest thing, but could also not work. There is, I think, Engraver in the graveyard. There has to be some
follow-up still remains.
So I think there is follow-up. But Julius, he has done so many things with fewer cards than 2 Aroma cards. If he gets a response...
Literally fewer cards.
Yeah.
Just a Lokai.
Can there be a talent that takes away the Nibiru? I have seen these players, these Rika players, play through Droll and Lockbird like it was nothing. Set up still 3-4 negates.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of special summoning from the deck rather than just searching sometimes.
Yeah.
There is a couple of ways to circumvent it, so we'll see if he can do that. Yeah, we're just getting the finalization from the judges here. We can head back onto the table now as this match is just about to resume in the middle of Game 2 here at YCS Lille.
And honestly, I'm here for the storyline now. Julius almost out, but now really back into this.
He's the main character.
Absolutely, he is the main character, and he's now finally able to also summon plant monsters to his side of the field.
Okay, so just confirmation from the judges, it was indeed a slow play warning, which I think has resulted in an extension, but it's not going to be an upgrade.
Perfect. Laurel on the field, which is an upgrade for Julius, though, because that's now 2 plant monsters on the field. And we keep on going.
All right, so what can we do here? Rosalina plus Laurel. We can go immediately into Jasmine, get a search, but this will be a little bit rough for the Droll and Lockbird, or is that going to be enough? Do we need just one single search?
Let's see, it's activating Laurel in the graveyard.
Okay, so gain 500 life. Trigger the Jasmine. When you gain life, you can use the effect to search a plant monster from your deck.
Gotta call it. If we search a plant monster after that, Droll and Lockbird is probably going to be dropped, and then we're going to see maybe even Crossout Designator into...
True. I mean, there's a lot of cards in his hand that, like, you know, Julius went first, 5 cards, none of them were usable. It could just be something like Crossout Talent Thrust to be able to switch on off of a monster effect.
There's the Princess now,
that's also a very good one.
There is the Droll and Lockbird. Let's not forget that Nibiru, just under that Jasmine in the zone it points to, can be tributed to summon out another plant from the deck, because that doesn't need to be a plant monster. So there's already potential for extension through that Droll and Lockbird.
Yeah, and it's just a question of how much can the plant deck do while under Droll and Lockbird. Checking the grave to make sure that there's nothing else spooky here waiting for Julius, as he is almost, at least from his perspective, uninhibited in proceeding with this turn, except for the fact that we cannot search. Will that be a big deal? We did get the Princess, I believe, right?
Does he have another? I think he had Humid Winds as a chain when he has another card in his deck, so he can not use Humid Winds in the draw phase, but chain into the Droll and Lockbird. And that is a pretty smart reaction from Julius at this point.
That definitely is. And also one thing that you might consider, we did not set a card with the Shavara as far as I remember. So either you assume they sided out the trap card going second, which is valid to assume, or you assume that that is the set card we see there, which right now wouldn't do a whole lot. Wait, he's playing with Chamber, so actually the Rage in the graveyard could be good. So if it is the Unchained Trap, it might be very, very good, actually.
I think once my opponent starts doing the graveyard dance like that, I start to think that maybe they don't have anything. But it could be the cool poker face of Noël, because there is still a Primal Being looming in that hand.
There is.
There seems to be no talents.
Yeah, nothing used as of yet. We are going to use the Jasmine to tribute the Nibiru, bringing out Snowdrop.
Oh, Noël wants to clarify on the situation. Is he just going to do something here? What is it?
Are we already in Nibiru range? We had the normal summon?
Nah.
This is summon number 4 here.
4, yeah.
Oh, but now Princess.
This is 5, and this
it will be on the field.
Wow, this is insulating Nibiru now, right?
Oh,
Can you use Princess from field, or is it hand grave
No,
only?
you cannot. That is the Nibiru. It was huge for Julius, but now it's also there for Noël.
The Primal Being is activated in response to the summon of Rika Princess here, and as you mentioned, you can't use it on the field.
And even if he had a designator for that one, the one Nibiru that he's running is in the graveyard.
You are correct, yeah.
True.
Oh, wow. I mean, what's left here? We're under Droll. We've been nibbed. We've used our normal summon. We've used Princess. Oh, this is really rough.
It's a toughie. He has so many cards in hand.
Even the throne triggers, because the throne, of course, the throne does not care whether it was your opponent or yourself removing the monster from the field.
There is a lot going on for Noël. He also has the follow-up in the graveyard. He has the Nightmare Pain. It is looking good for him if Julius does not find another way to
We have to attack into the Terror Incarnate as of now, right? So that could be insane. Isn't that just... How big is that token?
It is Snowdrop's attack plus Jasmine's attack and Princess's attack.
So I think Princess does not have that many attack, yeah, but I mean, Jasmine does have 1800.
What else do we have?
1800. So the Snowdrop is 12, so it's 3K. How much is the Princess? I think it's lower. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we aren't going to just... That would be a poetic end.
Yes.
Ramming into a Yubel monster for the loss. Yeah, wow.
To be honest, if you pass the turn after this, you're just going to lose into the battle phase.
All right, we're going to summon Lilyporia. That's an extender.
Okay, yep, indeed it is.
Wow.
We didn't have that available to us previously because we couldn't get a plant into the graveyard.
We can't search for the Disc Colosseum. Keep in mind, we're still under draw.
That is true.
How much does that do? We have a token with
Putting it
Lilyporia.
in defense is, I mean, it doesn't really matter, right?
And I mean, I just... Okay,
Can't
Mudan is
search anything
huge.
as well.
Medan sets Concon, or does she search? She searches Concon, right?
It's adding a card.
Yeah. Oh, there's a triple technic thrust, of course, also only able to set it. And I just realized, though, the Terror Incarnate, the effect is going to do the additional damage, isn't it? We have to attack into it. Nightmare Plane plus with Terror Incarnate. I think it is already doing the damage all by itself. Because it is the final form, the Terror Incarnate. Oh, we're setting the impermanence. Let's see how this one goes down.
So do we take Nightmare Pain damage and Terror Incarnate damage?
I would assume so, but let's see how it turns out here. Because we will have to head into the battle phase very, very soon.
Okay, so remember, this token is 3,000 attack here. You do need to enter the battle phase.
I think he's just telling him all about it. He will have to go into the battle phase.
Battle phase, attack Terror Incarnate.
Oh, what are we doing here? We're shuffling up.
Oh my.
Noel is explaining
Effective Incarnate.
That's how it is, right? We're grabbing the Terror Incarnate. There is additional damage being applied by that card. Yubel itself is going to end it all here. The final form of Terror Incarnate is going to
And there it is!
Noel, a YCS champion here of the 275th YCS in Lille. What a way to end this.
Yubel is just doing Yubel things. We're winning the YCS with the burn damage of an attack in the battle phase. There was nothing else it could have done. It couldn't have been more anime because Julius didn't even know about this. You have run into my trap card. My Yubel Terror Incarnate is going to deal the damage.
And France is celebrating their new champion, man. They love it. They're chanting his name.
It's absolutely incredible. I mean, the French crowd here is going crazy. The GX special, Yubel, the Terror Incarnate, the burn damage coming up, combined with the Nightmare Pain on the 3,000 attack token, eliminating Julius's life points here. And all that really waited for was for him to just finish reading the card and realize, okay, yeah, no, that's burn damage. But heartbreak, no doubt. I mean, to get this far into a final and to not really play game 2 must be absolutely heartbreaking.
Sure.
A second final loss for Julius as well.
The thing is, I said it before, you know, he is the main character, you know, he is now, you can't always win everything, you know, it would be a terrible show if Julius just won every event from now on, so he has to get close, be defeated, and then he's going to come back even stronger.
Yeah, we need the redemption
he's going to be here
sure.
back with some more plant cards, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he will be back, no doubt, and potentially playing it once again, but the next event will be, of course, YCS Bologna, as I mentioned, this time utilizing Rage of the Abyss. Water cards can sometimes, you know, fertilize a plant and then they get stronger. Maybe Mermel.
Sure. You're telling me we're playing Shark Rika next?
Shark Rika.
I'm all there for it.
Noted. Yeah, no, it's been an absolutely incredible event. And of course, make sure you guys do check out the social media on Yu-Gi-Oh! Card EU for the Twitch VOD, the YouTube, as well as Twitter to catch up on all of the action and watch some of the pre-recorded content as well. All of the matches from this weekend. That has been an absolute pleasure to bring you this.
Yes.
So yeah, it's basically, it's almost time for an interview, I believe. Here we're going to have a little word from Noël and tell us about Yubel.
Yeah, I think first of all, first of all, we're going to have the analysis of this actually, because we're going to have some of our colleague going over what happened there. I don't know how much there is to talk about in game number 2, but of course game 1 was impressive with that big combo, but
game 3 a lot happened.
Game 3 was great as well. I love game 3 for sure, but overall, still amazing how Rika in general just made it there, right? There was none.
No, wait,
that was the jump, bro. Bro, you have to get used to it.
Guys, incredible. All right, yeah, no, what an incredible final, honestly. And like I said, I think like game 2, getting to go first and just setting 2 and passing, it can't be understated just how bad that must feel.
Yeah.
And yeah, plants have been a relatively powerful deck in Europe. I mean, but it's
I love the
barely
addition in
played.
Europe.
In Europe specifically is where it's been finding its success.
Yes, for
so
sure, for sure.
The conversion rate is insane.
What is going on? Like, no one's playing this deck, and here it is, like, making it all the way to a final, or is it just the
I
Yubel
think
party?
We have some specific duelists that are so incredibly good at playing Rika that it doesn't really matter how many people are playing the deck, because we don't always have different people topping with Rika, you know. We have the same people and sometimes their friends in top cuts as well at the German nationals. We have
The main characters and their friends.
Yeah, exactly. We've had the same Rika list in the top cut twice, and it was a friend of Julius as well. So this is, it's them. It's just them. I think it's not the Rika deck. I think it is the players piloting it.
Yes, but I mean, there needs to be a solid base, right? You can't just play Sharks and go all the way. You can from Rota, but not just yet. I mean, I would love to do so, but usually it doesn't work out. But of course, after all those strong words for the plant deck, we gotta, of course, now talk about the Yubel deck.
Yeah.
We have a winner from France piloting that Yubel deck, and that, of course, is Noël.
Yeah.
And therefore, we are going to go into a deep dive analysis with Marcello Barbary and, of course, our new YCS champion, Noël. So let's go over to the analysis desk now.
Thank you, Seb, and congratulations from me as well for becoming a YCS champion. What a great finals, what a roller coaster of emotion. How do you feel?
Great, I'll be honestly relieved again because it's so much pressure sitting in the feature match.
Yeah.
Especially when it's the final.
Absolutely, but you had an amazing show all weekend long. We were mentioning it, how your play with Yubel just felt flawless, and you are indeed the #1 Yubel player of the weekend. What a run from you, really amazing. And now, if you don't mind, I want to go through some of the key moments in what was an amazing finals, I gotta say. If game one was more straight line, the game two will see so much happen. So I would say we can bring up the first clip, which is just about your incredible ending field. And this is just as good as it gets. I think this was your goal before walking into the match. So what do you need to actually make this field in your deck?
So this is the two-card combo.
Yep.
You need a combination of like Lotus, Throne, Beckoning, or a Finsmith. If you have like access to the Yubel engine plus a secondary engine, you can make the full board.
Yeah.
It only doesn't work when you have a Beckoning Finsmith because you have to fuse Aeroator to make the Yubel engine live.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if you've missed some of the top 4 action, but evenly matched was a card to be afraid of, and this is the field that works against it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like ending with no Omni Negates. I only do it when I get like more Charmed. And usually when you play under more Charmy, you can't really Sharvara from hand. You can't really Squirmer either unless you're forced to. But usually, you end with at least 1 Omni Negate, and ideally end with 2.
Absolutely. And yeah, you smashed it. And the second clip is about how we ended this game, which I think was an incredible play where he goes for the talent. You did set up the SP, and here you can just talk as you mentioned. You do chain the SP and then chain. And
yeah, exactly, because Desiree doesn't have to respond to the card, and so you can always put it wherever you want in the chain.
Absolutely, and very well played for this game one. And I gotta say, obviously, you made an amazing field. You played really well through the interruptions, and you won game one. Game two is a completely other story. So yeah, let's bring the first clip, which is obviously, unfortunately, your opponent sets you pass. How do you feel in that moment? What goes through your mind?
Obviously incredible, because I had 3 hand traps and I have 2 starters. I draw a 4th hand trap, so I'm like, let's say I don't kill, I feel fairly safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, my goal obviously was to try to kill him.
Yeah.
And I think the big mistake I made was when I tried to make access code when I was still Finlocked.
Yeah.
And instead of making a rage, I should have made sequence. I didn't realize I had not made sequence yet. And so I make sequence, I summon something, and then I can make the access code, and like my field would look much better.
Absolutely, and this is exactly the new clip that I'm gonna show you guys, which is one of the crucial moments here. Everyone thought the game was over, probably you too. You go for this access code, and you're probably like, okay, maybe an impermanence, what can go wrong?
I was somewhat expecting something because he hadn't activated anything so far. But so at that point, it's not too bad. I mean, I'm not winning. I still have like plenty of stuff to do. I still have the rage on the field. But then obviously the
blink
next
out,
play is,
absolutely,
the Nibiru comes out, and I realize my 3 Yubel monsters are in the grave, and I sighted Spirit going second, and that's when I realized I can't actually use the Phantom,
the
so
Phantom.
I have to let Nibiru resolve.
And this is exactly the other clip, so let's bring it up, because this is the point where he's playing only one Nibiru in 60 cards because of the cross-out. I mean, he bricked on it, but in this case, he played it well by waiting, I guess, on your Yubel cards, counting them out, and unfortunately, this was enough to actually clear your whole field and stop your turn entirely. So I guess in that moment, maybe you panicked a little bit in your head. What were you thinking?
Obviously, I was, I made a mistake like that in one of my matches as well. Yeah. And the thing is, we also had a judge call at one point, and the judge he had already told Julius that he was. They thought he was playing a bit slow. He was playing a bit slow, and then they tell me the same thing, and they say we will give you a slow play warning, and that's when I tell him it happened. It had happened to me once already.
Yeah, but I think it was the correct decision not to upgrade to any of you. It's always a lot of nerves to play in the finals and on stream, and I think all of you played really well with the time that was given to you. But I think you made a really good payback with your own Nibiru, right? So let's show it for you guys once again, because this is where you drop your own copy of Nibiru, and this must have felt really good, right?
Yes, obviously. So I knew like on his first action I would try to draw him, obviously.
Yeah, and then
he doesn't negate draw with Princess, so I assume he has enough gas to keep playing. And this is where I identify, I think, my win con on that turn is to hopefully have him summon more than 5 times. And exactly when Princess hits the field, he no longer has the negate. So unless he has a second one, which he's playing 60 cards, so it seemed a bit unlikely.
Yeah.
Especially because he bricked, and I think you can normal summon Princess and like do the Sun Avalon stuff at least. So I assume he didn't have it. And so I dropped Nibiru there, and I know that I will put a Yubel monster back on the field, and the Nibiru token will be summoned in attack, and so he's forced to go battle phase. He can't switch to defense on that turn. And I knew it would be enough damage, so unless he had like a way to clear the token, but he didn't. He just activated plant monsters. Nothing really happened. He uses Thrust. It just sets a card that can be activated, and so I just know. I think even he forgot about Nightmare Pain because he tried to go to the end phase, and I tell him you're going to battle and you're taking 6,000 damage.
And this is exactly the last clip, which I think you'll replay in your head a few times. And this is the winning moment, the handshake, and this is where you become a YCS champion. But again, congratulations on an amazing run. I think as compared to his top 4 opponent, you seem to be a little bit more comfortable with the Rika deck. Did you play against it in the past, or?
So I actually played against Rika yesterday during the 3v3.
Okay.
No, actually on Friday
Yeah.
during the 3v3 was my first round. It was my first match with the real cards.
Okay.
And we actually both made a lot of misplays, and we had fun talking about it afterwards.
Wow.
And he made top cut as well. And obviously I know all the Rika cards. I know the Sun Avalon cards.
Yeah.
And I got briefed last minute on the Aroma cards and the Ragnaraka. I had briefly read them, but I don't know them by heart. And I know there's like several choke points for those cards as well.
Yeah, so I guess a lesson to be learned, maybe come on Friday and play the 3v3s.
Yeah, and
you never know.
read the cards, because apparently this deck really will keep topping.
Absolutely it does, but again, we want to just wish you one more time from me, congratulations. You should be proud. You made one hell of a weekend. It was a very tough competition, almost 2,000 players, but tough for issue, which makes it even tougher. Yeah. You did it. You are the man of the weekend. So I think we just want to give you your deserving trophy, your deserving prizes. But before we do that and we go to the prize ceremony, let's go one more time back to our commentary trio.
Welcome back, everyone, and yeah, we're just about ready for the prize ceremony, the lifting of the trophy. And this weekend, it hasn't been about me, Bell, it's been about you, Bell.
Perfectly said, beautifully said, Yubely said.
Oh, that was phenomenal. I can't even top. You know what? I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm gonna not add any bad jokes to this one.
I mean, it's not about us here, for real, but it's about Noël, to be honest, because he is now on his first YCS top, a YCS champion. How must that feel?
Now, do you quit at this point and then just have a 100% win rate? do you think, or are we gonna win again?
He's gonna keep it by winning again. That's what he's going to do. So I think that we can also crown the Bologna YCS champion as well. But I think as this is our last segment, I want to say that this has been an absolute pleasure casting with you two, and I just absolutely loved the entire weekend.
Hope you guys enjoyed watching from home, and hope you had a good time being here as well, Sebastian.
Absolutely.
I think from us here, we are just about ready to sign out as our player of the weekend. Noel is going to be lifting that beautiful trophy, the victor of YCS Lille 275 for Yubel. Let's go over to the prize ceremony.
Attention duelists, your 275th YCS champion is Noël Hamel! Noel, this must be an amazing feeling. You said you never featured before, you've never topped a YCS, and here you are winning. How do you feel right now?
Great, obviously. Yeah, it definitely takes away from the pressure now that everything is over. And yeah, it feels great, obviously, to break the barrier and then to actually make the run all the way to the end.
I mean, congratulations. It must feel amazing. We have a trophy for you, so I'm going to invite our Konami representative, Kat, to come along and present it to you. Give it up there for Noël! There it is. Rounds of applause. Do you have anyone you'd like to say thank you to here?
Yeah, all of my testing partners, the person who actually sold me the cards, because I've had to find them last minute, and then everyone who gave me a word of encouragement.
Congratulations, it's really amazing. And now we're joined by the rest of our coverage crew. But give it up again for your new champion, Noël Hamel! That is going to be it here from our live stream here at the 275th YCS here. It's amazing what we've had today. It's been a fantastic weekend, and thank you so much to everyone. Thank you to our staff and judges for making this possible. Thank you to all of our players who came to make this possible. And thank you to all of you watching at home as well, because without you guys, we couldn't make this possible. Thank you also to my amazing coverage team who've helped make this an amazing weekend. Thank you also to the live streaming crew who made all of this happen for you at home. And we will see all of you guys in Bologna from the 22nd to the 24th of November, and we can't wait to see you there for that live stream. But one more time, give it up for your new champion, Noël Hamel!